Hello everyone, welcome to another interesting video. So it's been 11 days since I've uploaded one more video since the Halloween one. It got some really great responses. Like I did lot of editing on that. I put some time and effort onto that. Like I had to write the story myself. I had to do a lot of editing, put some background music, put some animations to pop up in the middle. Took a lot of work and effort, but it was all worth it because lot of people saw the video and I actually got great responses like likes, and it was because of that one video I got one more subscriber. So I'm happy that at least the work which I put in gave worth at the end. So thank you, brand new subscriber. It has been increased from 28 to 29. So I got a notification the other day on my phone telling that +1 increase in subscriber count, check more. I clicked on check more and I got to know that someone has subscribed. So huge thank you to the new subscriber and to the current ones. So as always, I would like to tell you, please like, share and subscribe. So you may be wondering what is today's video topic. Before I tell that, I am going to tell you another thing. On Saturday, there is a super special surprise coming up. But although I won't be uploading a video on Saturday, you have to wait for some time because on Saturday I have a flight to Vishakhapatnam. I won't be revealing which airline I'm flying on until that day. So none of the viewers, subscribers or anyone will get to know the airline which I'm flying on to Vishakhapatnam until the next video is uploaded. So that is only just one part of the surprise. Now comes the second part. In Vishakhapatnam, you ask what is cool there. There is one very cool thing, an aircraft museum which consists of old retired aircrafts and including military aircraft. So obviously I'm reviewing the museum, and also you can research on the museum yourself. And just like the twist, I'm not going to be telling the name of the museum until the next video after the vlog is uploaded. So the video on board the flight I will be doing like a vlog. So what I'll do is, like, first thing first, I have to talk about my phone. So you know I have two phones. So one of them is broken, like the display screen is gone, it's not turning on at all. So I'm getting it replaced. So this is the phone which I'll be doing the video in. So that is just one part of the mystery. And coming to that second phone, I'll be taking this to do calls or just to take images and stuff like that. But so now let's see how I do the video. I'll give you hints, but so what I'll do is I'll get off the taxi at the airport. I'll hold the phone like this. Start the video, like it will be there. And one more thing, I have got a brand new backpack. It's a trolley come carry, which means you know what a trolley is. You just pull it. It has wheels and has a handle. Now you may be wondering what a carry is. Carry is the one which has strappers, just like a normal school, office, or college bag. You just put it on like this and you just go. So it's two in one. Either if you want, you can carry it on your back, or if you are moving somewhere else or it's too heavy, you can just pull out the handle and drag it. So what I'll be doing is I'll be taking that back. First things first, I'll be doing the introduction like hello everyone, welcome to another interesting video, and then I'll show my new backpack. And obviously, since this is the first time I'm taking my own bag on a flight, because these days I used to take a little bag and not a trolley. This is a brand new one. I used to just take a school bag. It was like a use for school. I used to put in that and just send to check-in. But this time I'm not sending it to check-in because I'm very concerned about my bag. So I'm taking it to the carry-on. I'm putting it in the overhead bin and I've made sure the weight does not exceed the limit. I've checked in the airline website and everything, and of course the airline will be not revealed. So we've talked about that. Then after that, I'll not cover the parts of security and stuff. I'll show the bag like okay, now there comes a problem. Like if I have to put the phone in my pocket, I have to put it somewhere else, and now that is where my pilot suit comes in. If you have seen my videos from a long time, you know I wear this pilot suit. So obviously I'll be wearing it on the flight. I don't care about who thinks anything. I only care about my YouTubers, my subscribers, my YouTubers, sorry, I told my YouTubers, it's my viewers, my followers, my subscribers. I don't think who cares anything on the flight. I only care about you guys. So I'll be wearing this, and that is where this pocket of the suit comes in. So I'm gonna put my phone in this pocket, obviously it's there, and one more pocket is also here inside the coat. That is where you keep all your important letters and stuff. So okay, here it is. I'll keep my phone here. Okay, I'll show you like demonstration. Like it will be here, and the camera will obviously be turned on, but it will not be recording. So I'll show you a demonstration of what that looks like. I'm gonna unlock my phone right now. Come on. This face unlock is not working. Password enter. I'm really concerned about my phone's safety. Okay, so this is the camera app on my phone. It's the similar on both of my phones. So please come out. So it will be like this. It's gotten a little slow because I've used up too much memory in this. Okay, so now it has come. You can see me here. Okay, so it will be in video mode, and I'll basically show you what it looks like. So I'll be like, okay, I'll show you something else. Okay, think this aircraft is my backpack, and I'll be showing it, and I'll be recording. Hello everyone, welcome to another interesting video. So in today's video, we'll be talking about flight vlog on airline. Obviously I'm not revealing it, and obviously I'm not recording. This is just a demo, so it will be in portrait mode. So it'll be, I'm in landscape mode, so it will be like this, and I will pause the video like while going through security. Okay, it's my one more phone's here. Like I'll put it inside this pocket and just go to security, then take this out. Obviously when you're going to security, if you're a flyer like me, you know you have to put your things in the tray, but obviously I'll not put it in the tray, and I'll just show them this is my phone, and they'll accept it. I've done it once. Okay, so now it will be there, and once I've reached to the gate, I will start filming again, and I'll show you all the different airlines there and the aircrafts, and then it will be in the gate. I will be revealing on which airline I'm flying on. So obviously, since I am not doing a live stream kind of a thing, because you have to put your mobiles in airplane mode or completely switch them off, it won't work. So enough with the talking. So I've already taken 8 minutes, so I'm very sorry for this. You can just fast forward the video if you don't want to listen. Just go to like 9 minutes. So let's start today's video. The topic is, what is a forward slip? Okay, so forward slip in aviation means, okay, now there is two words, and let's use my method of splitting things. So forward slip. So first thing, the first word is forward and the second word is slip. So the first word is forward, which means front, and slip means like if you have slipped, you just fall down. So forward slip means, in aviation, forward slip means you dive the aircraft with its controls to the left or and the rudder to the right or opposite, to lose speed without, to lose altitude without gaining enough speed. So this is a tricky method which can be done in small planes, but definitely not commercial aircrafts. I wouldn't recommend that, and not even pilots would recommend that. But there has been one situation, just one situation in 1983, where 767 had to do a forward slip with no choice, and the pilot did that. And I'll tell you at last which airline was it, which did the forward slip and attempted a safe landing on one of the most abandoned Air Force bases in the world. Okay, so now the forward slip will be done in only in emergency situations. Like, okay, now let's keep the 747 aside. So now let's think that we are flying a small Cessna 172, and obviously the landing gears don't go up, and let's think there is an engine failure, like the engine turns on and it turns off. Okay, gonna be just drinking water. It's getting really hot these days in Bangalore, so I'm getting thirsty quite often. Okay, so back to our topic. So we are flying this Cessna 172, which has a malfunctioning engine. It turns on for some time, spins and turns off. So let's think we're at an altitude of 5,000 feet. The airport is straight ahead at us. The runway is 4,000 meters long, which is quite long. In fact, too much for a Cessna. It's ideal for 747 like this, 4,000 meters, which basically, if you convert it into kilometers, it's 4 kilometers. So a 4-kilometer runway is ahead of you, but since you're flying at 5,000 feet and the engine has stopped now and it's not turning, you won't get any braking, because the brakes, which are hydraulic brakes in the Cessna, are powered by the engine. And since the engine is not running, no hydraulics, and no hydraulics means no braking, so you have no choice but to slip the aircraft. Notice I did not tell to forward slip, I just told to slip the aircraft. This is how pilots tell it. I'm gonna slip the aircraft means he'll do a forward slip. Okay, so anyways, so you are getting ready for the forward slip. In the Cessna, it has a small control wheel. So you put your right leg on the rudder pedal of the right side and you put both your hands on the control wheel. Turn and first things first, do not try any of this at home, or if you have a private pilot license, talk to a professional first before attempting this. And this is only used in emergency situations and not for recreational purposes. And in emergencies doesn't mean you need to turn off your engine for that. It should be a real emergency. Okay, so anyways, back to our topic. So you turn the control wheel to the left, put your right leg on the rudder pedal, you push that, and immediately the aircraft starts rolling to the left, but it does not roll that much, so it goes to roll right about less than 20 degrees in forward slips, and it immediately comes down. And here's the best part, you're flying at 250 knots at 5,000 feet, and immediately you descend to 1,000 feet, and the speed has not even increased to 350 knots, not even a 100 knot difference. This is the advantage of this method. So like, you lose altitude very quickly without gaining speed, and that is very useful thanks to what we call aerodynamics of flight. So the aerodynamics of flight, what they do is they help us to do these methods without increasing the speed. So the wind is flowing like this, and when you slip the aircraft, it banks and immediately goes down in the bank direction. And obviously, you have to correct it. So it's banking left and it's going down in a left path, not in a straight path like this. I'll show you. With the same controls, you have slipped it and it's going down like this. That is where the banking comes in. The banking, which proves quite deadly in most situations, like too much bank, is actually a blessing here. So the bank below 20 degrees makes it impossible to gain speed, and since the aircraft is on a turn like this, you can't gain speeds in turn. So that is the second factor contributing to the speed reduce. So anyways, you have come down. The runway is 500 meters away, and this is where you need to correct the aircraft. So you can't obviously be going left like this. You have to make it straight, because if you go left, you're going to miss the runway all of a sudden. So you're coming down like this, turn right, align yourself, then you have to do the flare. But this is not any ordinary smooth flare. You have to pull it rapidly up. You have to pull it very hard, because the aircraft has obviously come down too fast without gaining speed, of course, and now you have to pull back. It's like this, it's not like this. Normally when pilots do approaches, they come like this, but the aircraft is now like this, 15-degree nose down, and you have to pull that to take it to 5 degrees nose up. That is the normal flare rate, 5 degrees nose up. So you take it up full and then you land. It's a very successful forward slip. You have just did it. So this was the video about the forward slip, and now time to tell which airline did the forward slip in 1983. In 1983, Air Canada Flight 143, which was a Boeing 767-200ER extended range model, a brand new aircraft, ran out of fuel. You may wonder, how can a brand new aircraft run out of fuel? There cannot be any technical faults. Well, actually, there was a technical fault. One of the aircraft's fuel gauges malfunctioned, and there was no extra fuel gauges, and there was one more 767 which was able to replace the fuel gauges, since it had a third standby one, and by the time the engineers got to that other aircraft, it was not there on the ground, it was already in the air. So they had no choice but to just pull the circuit breaker for that, because when you have false readings, you cannot trust that, and it's showing wrong. So basically, why do you even need that? So when you pull the circuit breaker in an aircraft, the electrical connection to that electric appliance goes off. So it's just like when you pull the plug or you turn the switch off, the connection goes off. It's just like that. So, but what the engineers failed to do is, since they have pulled the normal common circuit breaker for both the fuel gauges, and this is where a critical mistake happened. They should have just pulled the breaker for gauge number 2, which was actually malfunctioning. Instead, they were in a hurry to get the aircraft to the air, because there was already a delay with this fuel problem. So that's why they just pulled the common breaker, and the common breaker obviously means that the remaining two fuel gauges, the fuel gauge 1 and the standby, also goes out. It does not matter whether it's a standby or whether it's a normal fuel gauge. If you pull the common, it just goes out. So that is where the first mistake happened, and the second mistake happened in calculating the fuel. So their calculations should have been made in metric, but it was done in imperial. If you are knowing about imperial and metric, you know the difference is quite high, because they needed to pour American gallons, but they were pouring liters. So that is where the third mistake happened. But they were convinced that the aircraft had enough fuel for the journey to be done 5 times without a break. But in reality, the aircraft did not even have half the fuel necessary for that journey. So the journey began in the middle at 41,000 feet. It ran out of fuel, and then the pilots got to know that there was a fuel issue, but they did not know until they reached the Air Force Base, and now that gives us to the Air Force Base. Gimli International Military Airport was an airport back in the day, but now it's a motorsports park and racetrack. So the aircraft, which was powerless, was heading to a sports car event, and it was soundless. So the captain slipped the aircraft and he did it, but there were 2 kids on the ground riding their bicycles on this Sunday afternoon, and the captain told in the interview, "I did not want to run over those 2 kids with a 95-ton aircraft." So actually the aircraft without fuel was 95 tons. So that was easily enough to crush the bicycles, including the children. So anyway, the pilot did it. Both the pilots are still here and they live to tell the tale. So you can check out the documentaries Air Canada Flight 143. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to check the vlog and the aircraft museum tour. And have a nice day.